I'm still asking, what's still worth buying on PulseChain, even after all the FUD? The truth is, some of the best opportunities usually come after all the noise fades. When the crowd walks away, that's when the foundation is quietly being built for the next run. Hey, this is Colin. I help purpose-driven beginners cut through all the noise, cut through all the hype, and learn how to build real wealth in crypto using a simple framework, using macro strategies, and building a conviction-based portfolio. I've been following HEX and PulseChain, Richard Hart, right from the beginning of HEX, through all the debates, the confusion, and all the drama. And if there's one thing that I learned, it's those that believe in the long term, the long game. Those that understand the long game, they're the ones that end up winning. So in this video, I'm going to break down my top 3 PulseChain tokens that I believe are still worth accumulating right now, even at this point in the market cycle, and why they could play a major role in this next expansion phase. If you've been wondering where to put your focus in the PulseChain ecosystem, especially with so many meme coins and hype that's been coming out recently, this here will give you clarity and conviction, and hopefully some direction as well. Okay, so at this point in the market cycle, we are either at the end of the cycle or we are heading into an extended time in this market cycle going into 2026. Possibly. Don't know for sure. But it's how you're going to be able to play this right now. Because I tell you, nobody really knows for sure exactly what is happening. But you need to keep that in mind, and you need to consider where we are right now in this market cycle. The last quarter, the last couple months right now of 2025, which usually would be the end of the cycle. So what I'm doing is this. Prices are still low. We still haven't had a true alt season yet. There's a lot of fear, confusion, and uncertainty in the market still right now. And honestly, that's exactly why I'm focusing on undervalued projects right now. Undervalued projects that I have real high conviction in. No hype, no lottery, not right now. For me personally, that's my strategy. My approach right now at this stage is simple. Protect capital. Position for asymmetric upside and stay patient. I'm not chasing high risk speculation tokens. Not right now. I'm accumulating strong assets that can survive the storm and thrive in the expansion when it really shoots up, when we have that run. These are assets that if the market doesn't decide to really go up and shoot up and really go into euphoria, which yes, I still believing will happen, but in case it doesn't, that's why I'm focusing this way right now. I want assets that if the market does crash or stay down in these low prices and it stays this way until next market cycle, I want to know that I'm holding something that I would believe in, have conviction in, and I'm holding until then. I'm not going to capitulate. I'm not going to dump them. They're staying. If I get them now, if I'm accumulating what I have right now and the market goes down, I'm holding. I'm not selling. I'm not dumping them. So with that being said, let's talk about the 3 tokens that I choose that I believe are worth holding and accumulating even more right now at these prices. These are the tokens that I am really focused on when it comes to PulseChain, the PulseChain ecosystem. These are core tokens. And when it comes to my portfolio framework, these tokens fit in my yellow bucket. My yellow bucket, this is part of my strategy within the crypto wealth playbook. This is how I play it out. This is my playbook for the market cycle. Very important. But I'm going to share this with you here right now, how the yellow bucket works. You see, these are conviction plays, not hype plays, not lottery. They have asymmetric upside, meaning that small positions can turn into large, huge, substantial rewards. The upside is much greater than the downside, considering we're pretty much at the bottom downside of things. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, you need to be understanding what it is exactly that you are holding. Because like I've always said, if you don't understand what you're holding, if you don't know why you bought it, chances are you won't be able to hold it. But if you've got conviction because you understand what it is that you bought, what it is that you're holding, well, you're going to be able to hold through the downtimes, through the storms, when things get very volatile and rocky and they are dipping down quite a bit. What are you going to do? You're going to buy more because you've got that high conviction. And that's kind of where we're at right now when it comes to, where we are in the market. If you got real high conviction and you're holding these tokens, well, guess what you're doing? You're accumulating even more. And that's what you should be doing. And so the first one, yes, it's going to have to be, of course, PLS. PLS, the native token on PulseChain. This here is a foundation. It's a foundation layer. This token foundation, these are Richard Hart core tokens, by the way. Yes, everything in this ecosystem, everything on PulseChain's running on PLS, running through PLS. So being that it's a native token, it's the gas token, it's the backbone. So yes, absolutely. If you got conviction, if you're on PulseChain for anything, you should have a good accumulation of PLS tokens. That's my conviction personally. Every transaction, every DEX trade, every NFT minted, every use on a smart contract, everything requires PLS for it to run, for it to be used with the gas fees. So you can also think of it this way. You can think of PLS like Ethereum in 2016 and 2018, or BNB in 2018. It's the lifeblood of the chain. Here's what gives it value. It's deflationary. Every transaction burns a small bit of PLS. It's designed for scalability, cheaper and faster than Ethereum. It's fully operational, not a test net, not a concept, real projects deploying consistently. There's growth. Now, I know the price has not reflected that yet for several reasons. We are still early. The liquidity is low, which is good right now for you. But when macro liquidity returns and PulseChain matures with more DEXs, more DeFi tools, more cross-chain bridges, network demands meets limited supply. That's where value compounds. So here's a key takeaway. PLS isn't about hype. It's about owning the rails of an entire ecosystem. When it comes to a portfolio fit, like I said, my yellow bucket. This is a core foundation asset, something I have conviction in, I believe, and I'm confident to hold. Even if it doesn't recover until next market cycle, I'll still be holding, though I still am believing for this market cycle. Now, the next one, of course, this number 2, it's got to be PLSX, PulseX. It's the first decentralized exchange, the first DEX, Richard Hart's DEX, that was built on PulseChain. PulseX, it's the trading hub where all tokens swap hands, traded. I know there are other DEXs. There are several DEXs now on PulseChain, but this is the first. This is a core token. This is one of Richard Hart's core tokens that, yes, I believe needs to be in your portfolio. Think of it like Uniswap on Ethereum or PancakeSwap on BNB chain, except this one's even better. Why? Because it's even burning tokens on every trade. Not only just burning tokens on every trade, but with the PLSX, it actually buys and burns the tokens. Not just burning, not just a burning mechanism, but it buys the tokens and then it burns the tokens. So it's even better than the PLS that just burns a little portion of each fee. This one buys and burns the token a little bit, a portion each time. Every time somebody swaps, does a trade on PulseX, every time there's a trade and stuff like that that's going on, that's happening, that's what is going on, is PulseX is automatically buying and then burning these tokens, a portion of the fees. That is deflationary. That is a good good mechanism to have with PulseX. It incentivizes liquidity providers as well with great yield opportunities. PulseX is permissionless. It gives control to the users, a truly decentralized exchange. In every blockchain ecosystem, the DEX becomes a critical liquidity hub. Uniswap had Uni token, PancakeSwap had the Cake token, PulseChain has PLSX, and it's only just getting started. Now, the biggest misconception is that PLSX can't pump because of low volume, but that's a temporary phase. Once more PulseChain projects launch and real trading activity picks up, that buy and burn mechanism compounds even greater. So here's a key takeaway. PLSX rewards patience. It's a yield. It's yield just holding the token with that buy and burn engine that grows stronger as the ecosystem grows, the ecosystem matures, it's only going to be getting better. Now, for my portfolio fit, again, this is a high conviction asset for me. My yellow bucket, high conviction asset, something that I have high conviction in and plan on holding, and I would hold through any of the storms, through the volatility up and down. If we were to crash or stay down at these low prices until the market cycle, well, I truly believe that holding PLSX is going to be completely worth it. Though, of course, I'm also still believing this market cycle is still got a great play ahead of it right here. But that's what makes this a great asset to have. Is it something that I would believe and have conviction in holding any way you look at it, either way. And then, of course, the third one, the last one here, it's a double. It's a double one. It's a double because it's got two. It's HEX. And we've got EHEX and we've got PHEX. So if you're wondering, well, which one? Okay, HEX is your third one. Well, which one are you choosing? Which one are you talking about? I just did a video talking about EHEX versus PHEX, right? So check it out. In fact, if you haven't seen it, probably post a link down below. Check out that video next, where I go into a little bit more detail in regards to that. But HEX, it's like the heart of the community. It all started with HEX, the two forms. The original EHEX from Ethereum, which then forked over, and we have PHEX, or now it's called HEX, and then HEX from Ethereum. But the HEX from Ethereum is also still on PulseChain. The EHEX is still on PulseChain. It is a bridged version. So understand the two differences. There is a bridged version of HEX, and then there is a forked version of HEX. So which one? I like them both. Some say EHEX is dead. PHEX is the future. I believe both have their place because they both kind of serve two different purposes now. Well, what do you mean by that? Well, EHEX represents legacy liquidity. It's the bridge between old and new capital, liquidity capital. PHEX represents new growth. It's native to PulseChain. But beyond the tech, HEX is about behavior and design. Behavior design. It rewards long-term holders, whether you stake it or you don't stake it. It's not about rewarding traders for quick profits. It's about rewarding delayed gratification. It builds discipline, not a dopamine addiction. And the game theory between both chains and tokens, staking systems, liquidity dynamics creates something fascinating, like a dual chain feedback loop that could really amplify once sentiment really flips back. So my key takeaway with this is that HEX is still the heartbeat of the PulseChain community, the culture, the belief, and the original vision of delayed gratification and sovereignty. My portfolio fit? Yep. Yellow bucket, conviction, community, play. Again, something that I have high conviction in, would be believing and confident to hold this token, again, through and through, right through to the bottom of the next market cycle, through the bear market into the next cycle. If that were to happen, if we don't get a good run this cycle, I'm still holding this. I'm not capitulating. I'm not selling it. I'm not getting rid of it. If I'm holding it, it's down, I'm holding it, and it's going up. That's the bottom line. Always beats it, beats everything else. That's why it's important to have the understanding of knowing what it is that you have, what you're owning. Because if you don't have the conviction, you don't understand why you bought it. Like I said, man, I got to keep on drilling this home. If you don't understand and know why you own a certain asset, you're going to sell it when the volatility hits. You're going to sell it when the bear market hits and you drop down 80, 90%. Like a lot of us are experiencing on PulseChain, but we're believers. We have conviction in what we have, and that's why we're holding it. That's why we're the crazy one. Now, if you've been watching and listening to my videos here, if you've been listening to what I've been saying here for a little while now, you hear me talk a lot about this, about these buckets, about the bucket system with my portfolio system and how it really works, how I play this, what I do. I have a green bucket, I have a yellow bucket, and I have a red bucket. This is how I build my portfolio. My green bucket, it is anchored. They're my anchor cryptos along with real high conviction altcoins. Okay. Now these are real strong altcoins real strong assets that have made it through, every market cycle, every bear cycle, every bear time, every bull time, consistently. Right. And then the anchors, but the anchor is Bitcoin, Ethereum. These are anchors. That's what it is. So this is my green foundation core cryptos. The yellow bucket is high conviction altcoins. They can be new projects, right? That, for example, like PulseChain, right? PLSX. They haven't made it through several different market cycles yet, but I have really high conviction in these assets. They have utility. They have use case. They have, what it takes for me to believe, to have high conviction in these assets. So it's high conviction altcoins. That is my yellow bucket. And then the red bucket is lottery. The red bucket, they are, potential moonshots or moon bags, moonshots, gamble plays, lotteries that I'm going to, throw something in to these assets, to these tokens. And if it goes to zero tomorrow, then, oh, well, I am not hurt. But they have the potential also to go to the moon, right? The risk is that for me, there's no downside because I'm throwing in a lottery ticket type of money. And if it does go up, it's going to shoot to the moon. If it doesn't, well, I was already counting on it being zero anyways. Moonshots, green, yellow, red buckets in my portfolio, explained in much greater detail, of course, in the playbook. And all three of these on PulseChain, these core tokens, PLS, PLSX, and HEX, they all fit within that yellow bucket right now. Hey, very soon, quite possibly, potentially, PLSX, they could be green, right? Green foundation cryptos. But right now, I'm just keeping them in my yellow bucket. That's me. Hey, if you want to keep them in your green, you say, these are green foundation assets for me, you go ahead and do that. If you think, you know what, man, I think they're just still super high risk, I'm putting them in my red. That's your mentality, but I have the conviction that they are my yellow bucket high conviction alt. Yellow high conviction alts, they are tokens, they are assets that when the market is in a situation where it is right now, is when I DCA into these type of assets. I would DCA into PLSX, into HEX, which is what I've been doing. And this is why I say these are the three main core assets on PulseChain that I personally am focusing on right now at this point. If there's anything to put anything into, for me, this is what I'm doing. I do not like to DCA into red bucket assets. I like to DCA into the yellow bucket asset. So there's a good lesson on my green, yellow, and red assets, green, yellow, and red buckets. But remember now, none of this is financial advice. This is not financial advice. This is crypto. Make your own decisions. Do your own research when it comes to crypto, especially crypto, all of this stuff, right? But if you did find great value in this content, you know what to do. I'd appreciate it if you did. Smash the like button, drop me a comment down below and let me know what your thoughts are. Are you accumulating these assets? Yet other ones that you believe are worth accumulating? Let me know. Let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comments. I'm very interested to hear what you got to say about these assets, these core tokens, and what you're DCing and what you're doing at this point when things are down near the end of this type of this market cycle, when we haven't even had an alt season yet. All right. I've also got some great videos right here in this playlist that I believe you're going to find some great value in here as well. So check them out, head on over there And, in fact, it'd probably be the PulseChain ecosystem playlist right there. So head on over there, check them out, and bye for now.